Biggest thing about the 4B movement is it always comes from women that look more masculine than the men that they're talking about. And you know the exact women I'm talking about that have like the septum piercings, the different color hair.
And the funniest thing about watching a sad, bitter pick-me talk about a movement that she has no idea what it's actually about, on top of the fact that you too have different colored hair. I see your roots, sis. Now, I'm not part of the 4B movement myself because I have an amazing man that I chose. However, if I ended up being single or if I was single, there's a high probability I would be part of the 4B movement, 100%. But the insignificant teeny brain is not allowing you to understand the reason why the 4B movement was created. The 4B movement was created in response to wanting to distance themselves from toxic and violent men.
That literally are so far in their masculine role that the men weren't even looking in their direction in the first place.
Are you joking? These men flock to hot, strong, independent women. They flock to them because their whole goal is to get them and then break them down and turn them into a pick-me. They don't want someone like this to begin with. They never do. I mean, what kind of adult content do you think these men are looking at? They're obviously not looking at plain Janes.
And it's just another way that these women are trying to one-up men, but
women wanting to remove themselves from toxic, abusive, and violent men is not their way to one-up them. It's their way to save themselves and protect themselves. All you need to do is think. I know it might be hard.
The fact that you have the ability to live on your own and have your own apartment is a huge deal. The fact that you have the option to not get married and not have children is a huge fucking deal. I don't think you realize how much women would have killed to have these options in the past. They did not have the option. Okay? And the reason why so many people have these shitty ass fathers is because women had to choose somebody because they had no options with their lives besides being a mother and a wife. And if you had a less than ideal mother, the odds are she didn't fucking want to be a mother. She just felt like that's what she had to do. She could have had dreams and aspirations that went beyond being a mother and a wife, but since that is what society told her, that's all she could do. That's what she did. And a lot of women are resentful over that. Women were not allowed to have their own bank accounts until 1974. I don't think you realize how recent all of these developments are. We are on the brink. We are on the breaking point of things looking totally different in the next 10, 20 years than they have throughout the entirety of humanity. Do not take that for granted. This is not the time to split hairs. This is the time to march the fuck forward. This is the time to decenter men and focus on your own life. You have that opportunity now. We never had that opportunity before. It is a blessing. So if you don't have a boyfriend or husband or whatever, and you feel like you're behind in life because you don't, I'm telling you, it is a blessing. Don't settle. If you find this perfect, amazing man, then that's wonderful. Hold these men to a high fucking standard if they're going to be in your life. Because you do not need them. You do not have to have them. And if you pick the wrong one, it'll not only hold you back, but it'll hold generations back.
The most wild thing to me about the 4B movement is the outpouring of women who are realizing how much of a good idea it is, and the outpouring of men who are like, they can do that? I know it's a fairly recent thing, man, but yeah, women can get their own homes, live their own lives, and do basically everything that they want to without centering men around their lives. And it's very telling to think that this is a threat to you. You would think that some of you would see this as a step towards getting rid of the patriarchy and removing some of the stress in your life around being a traditional man, even though some of you may still want to be. But with the 4B movement, women don't need to center men around their lives because women don't need men to survive anymore. It was a fairly recent thing that women could start voting and having bank accounts. And in some men's minds, it's only going to get worse from here. So with women not needing to rely on men anymore for housing and having actual money, men might have to start doing insane things in order to attract women, like having a personality. I just think that feeling threatened during a movement where women decenter men from their lives is a very big tell.
Have you guys heard of the 4B movement in South Korea? The women of South Korea's 4B movement aren't fighting the patriarchy. They're leaving it behind entirely. There's been a small but growing women's movement in South Korea in response to widespread cases of femicide, revenge, and dating violence, and a surge in spy cam crimes, overwhelmingly committed by, you already knew. And the fact that all of these crimes mostly resulted in slaps on the wrist, like fines and suspended jail sentences, if they were prosecuted at all. And so protesters in South Korea went ham. And several women's movements were created in response, like the 4B movement. 4B is shorthand. Bihon is the refusal of a heterosexual marriage. Bichulsan is the refusal of childbirth. Biyeonae, damn, my Korean is good, is saying no to dating. And bisekseu is the rejection of heterosexual sexual relationships. Many in the 4B movement believe this is the only path with which Korean women today can live autonomously. In their view, Korean men are essentially beyond redemption. Where have I heard that before? And Korean culture on a whole is hopelessly patriarchal and often downright misogynistic. While 4B adherents may hope to change society, they are not trying to change the men whom they view as their oppressors. That's why I love this movement, because they said, you know what, we sick and tired of trying to talk to y'all and get y'all to wake up and get on the right side of history. So you know what? We just not gonna fuck with y'all. Ladies, what do you think about the 4B movement? Could you commit to bihon, bichulsan, biyeonae, and bisekseu? Get in the comments and let us know.
So I have been seeing people comment this 4B movement thing, and like I had a general idea of what it was, and so I was like, let me finally go look on TikTok. So I just searched TikTok 4B movement, and the more I hear about it, the more lit it actually kind of sounds. So the 4B movement was started in Korea, and basically the Korean women decided no marriage, no having heterosexual sex, no, I think, dating, no children. Basically, anything that involves men, they are completely opting out of it. I hope I got those four right. They are literally opting to die out than to deal with Korean men. Because there's a huge femicide going on in Korea. A black girl who when I was searching, said that she was wanting to go to school in Korea. And so before, officially signing up, she searched the, I think she said the Naver app. It's like a news app, basically, and translated it. And basically she was like, every other news article was a woman getting stalked, getting attacked, getting raped. Like, it was the patriarchy and misogyny and just the violence over there towards women is insane. So they're basically just like, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to be partnered with men. We are not going to marry them. We are not going to have sex with them. We are not going to have children. Just literally opting out. And that is really insane. Like, they have literally lowered the birth rate in their country. North and South Korea, obviously. So what I want to say to the men, because I commented under that man's video I stitched, I commented and I said, keep making these videos. Keep making these videos. Keep tweeting your thoughts about dating and women should settle and all of these things. Because what they are too dumb to realize is that they are the ones radicalizing women. I haven't read a single feminist, piece of literature. I haven't read the books. I might see videos here and there on TikTok, but literally, I am basing my life over what these men are saying. Like, I'm literally watching men. I remember watching that thread. I think it was South African men literally talking about the moment when you realize you hate your girlfriend. Tweeting that openly. They will talk about women, y'all gonna have to lower y'all standards and y'all gonna have to do this, and this, and this. Meanwhile, single is still an option. Being single is always on the fucking table. And they know that. But they can't survive off of being single. Because their moms have been taking care of them. And so, you know what? Traditionally, it's supposed to be the girl goes from her father's house to the husband's house. Now, it's flipped. Especially in the US, it's flipped. They go from their mama house to their girlfriend's house. Like, it's so insane to me. I deleted all of my apps. I was just like, I'm not doing this shit anymore. Why would I keep doing the same thing and expecting like different results? Doing the same thing, expecting different results. You can do everything right. You can submit to the man. You can pay 50-50, 100-0, 99-1%. And that man is still gonna dog you the fuck out. They still gonna stress you out. They don't respect you because cheating is a form of disrespect. You do not respect your partner. They want children but don't want to take care of it. They want the traditional lifestyle but don't want to be traditional men and pay the bills. So what is the fucking point? These men's dashboards are lighting up like Christmas. And they get scared because they can't survive on their own. Nursing home employees say there are men in their 50s who literally cannot take care of themselves. Cannot take care of themselves. So the 4B movement, that sounds amazing to me. That sounds amazing. I already did not want kids. I would like to be married, yes. At the same time, I'm not just going to marry anybody just for the sake of being married. Like, I'm not going to marry a man just because he's a warm body at night, because that warm body is just going to drain my resources and make my bills higher. Why the fuck would I split the bill with someone and add on responsibilities when I can do 100% by myself and do what I was already doing? Shout out to the Korean women. It needs to make waves. It needs to cross over Asia. South African women, it needs to hit South Africa. It needs to hit Africa. It needs to hit the US. Honestly, needs to hit everywhere.